Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside Report for this past week, the week of October 6th through the 12th. So another busy week here across the state of Kentucky in your auction barns and markets. 16,505 head of cattle sold across the state of Kentucky. That's going to be up about 2,000 head from what it was this time last week. But if you compare it to this time last year, down 2,000 head. Now, what did we see go on this week? Well, it's been a little bit different than what we have been seeing. So it hasn't been all the loads like what we've been used to all early fall and late summer there. Not that many loads. But your farmers are starting to come to town with your lightweight feeder cattle. That's having a little bit of effect on your market. So we're going to call your feeder steers and heifers this past week unevenly steady, anywhere from $5 higher to $5 lower. Some instances sharply higher. It just depends on right now pretty much if those cattle are weaned and preconditioned versus your flesh, your balling calves coming in. That's been the biggest difference that you've seen. Now, as far as your yearlings kind of getting scarce, I think. Lighter test on those this past week, but they were steady to $3 higher. Now let's talk about these calves. There's a huge spread on these calves going in some instances up to $96, and I'll talk about that here in a second. So you're, like I said, there's really a premium being paid on those weaned and preconditioned type cattle, and they're still holding the balance. It's just the rest of them's kind of hard to know what to ask for or what to expect on them, just because of these weather changes and everything else going on, and it is October. So let's talk about this. So your 4-weight steer cattle, we'll call them $3 to $3.10 as an average. They topped off at $3.37, but here's that spread I was talking about. $2.24 is a low, $3.20 as a high. That's a $96 spread, and that's pretty much the difference between your unweaned fleshy balling type cattle versus your preconditioned cattle coming in. So that's what you're kind of expecting if you're putting these things in. That's kind of what to expect if you're selling your cattle. But now here's the biggest thing that I can see. I think a lot of this moisture came in over this last couple of weeks with the storm. The grass is greened up and everybody's got green grass fever. Here it is in October. So let's talk about your 5-weights. 5-weight steer cattle, 270 to 275. I'm going to say is an average. They topped off at 322.5. Again, a 63-cent spread on your weight class. Now your low end of your 5-weights will be 237. The top end of them will be somewhere around that $3 mark. So again, $63 there. Even on your 6-weights, same deal. 6-weights are going to average about 255. They topped off at 286. But again, a huge spread on those things, guys. 220 as a low, 282.5 is a high. That's a $62.5 spread there. So that's what's going on your feeder cattle going in. Now, as far as your lows, pretty nice trade on your lows that we did have trade, but not too many 8-weights traded this past week. But check these things out. Here's 93 head of black steers, weight 8 1/4, 825 pounds at 250.75. Going up here, here's 57 head of blacks and Charolais crosses, weight 839 on the average at 247.25. And then here's just some mids. Here's 60 head of black steers, weight 855, traded quite nicely, 251.75. And close out on some big heavier 8-weights. Now, not a full load of them, 27 head of these steers. These are all black steers at weighing 870 at 238 flat. Now, compare that to your CME Feeder Cattle Index. CME Feeder Cattle Index has gained some ground this past week. So Monday the 7th, your CME was at 248.75. Tuesday, 249.48. Wednesday the 9th, 249.75. Thursday the 10th, 250.05 is a high. We don't have Friday yet because of Columbus Day rollover, but we'll get that to you just as soon as we can. So that's what's going on in your feeder cattle market across the state of Kentucky. That's what's going on in your CME Feeder Cattle Index. Guys, if you're interested in investing in an LRP policy, there really is no better time than right now. Feel free to reach out to the guys. Call Ian Thomas at 859-613-2453. Call Adam Shoemaker at 859-338-4116. Call Cole Clark at 859-865-2980. And don't forget about Kerry Mosier. Kerry Mosier, 270-929-8896. Or check them out on the web, www.superioragins.com. Thank you so much. Enjoy this cooler weather. Talk to you next week.